I love you.
What is going on, everybody? This is Mike Hughes, and you're listening to The Shy Kid and Everything Chicago Sports Related Podcast. We're breaking it down. It is currently March 20th, 2024, and the beginning of a new era is underway. Obviously, we still have a little over a month and 5 days until the NFL draft of 2024, and the Chicago Bears, who presumably will be taking Caleb Williams, #1 overall out of USC quarterback. It's going to be a lot of fun to speculate what happens with that throughout the next 25, 35 plus days. But with that being said, a huge step into that development and into that happening was Caleb Williams' NFL Pro Day today. It went, in my opinion, it went perfectly. I think we saw everything we wanted to see out of Caleb Williams, and the things that we already knew he could do, he wasn't trying to over-exacerbate. So I loved what we saw from Caleb Williams. Obviously, last night, Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus landed in LAX to get to USC Stadium to be able to watch him at this pro day. Everybody and their mama was at this event, media-wise. Except us. But, I think, one of the more interesting things about this pro day was the vocalism of a Caleb Williams, the realness of a Caleb Williams, and also Colin Cowherd, who hilariously said a month ago that Caleb Williams hated Chicago and didn't want to be here, and then had the audacity to backtrack that and ask him today why he would love to go to such an amazing city. According to Colin, it's his favorite city in the entire world. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Pardon my language, but that, come on, bro. We're not doing that. But he's been sliding Chicago for years. I don't want to hear it. But with that being said, we heard a lot from Caleb Williams today, a lot more than I thought we were going to hear. We heard a man who vocalized, I understand there's a lot of people talking about me wanting ownership. There's a lot of people talking about me and all these rumors speculating about what I want, what I don't want, what I demand, what I don't demand. And Caleb even expressed, I'm not a guy who posts on social media often. I'm not a guy who says anything often. Even though the media has my name in their mouth every single day with a new story, I haven't said any of this. He just wanted to clear that up, be vocal, and I absolutely loved it. So, it was great to see Caleb Williams really just be honest, really just be real. We saw him dap up with Ryan Poles. We saw Ryan Poles talking to the father of Caleb Williams, who is presumably going to handle all of his business inquiries, being his agent. Caleb Williams is not under an agency as of right now, unless it's like a certified agency. But with that being said, I loved what we saw. We also saw wide receiver 1/2 of the Chicago Bears, Keenan Allen, was in attendance. Caleb actually vocalized that him and Keenan go a little bit back. They've known each other for a while now. They give each other pointers. He loves how intelligent and how mindful a guy like Keenan Allen can be and what he could potentially learn from him. So that was really cool to see that they have that relationship and that Keenan's already decked out in Bears hoodies and Bears memorabilia, and they're just ready to go. But if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that follow button. We're still going live. The stream just started, so welcome in here. If you guys haven't already, make sure you smack that like button a few times so more people can get in the stream. We can start answering fan questions. If you have any, please pump them in. But yeah, the day itself was very good, in my personal opinion. He ended the day with a 70-yard bomb to Brandon Rice, who was Jerry Rice's son, who's been at USC with Caleb for a couple seasons now from 2021 on. So that was really cool to see that. You know what I mean? Especially him picking him to be in this situation. They know each other best. They've been with each other. I know a couple people would have rather seen Keenan Allen get on the cleats and a helmet and see what he could potentially do with Caleb, but that's tampering, baby. That's a little bit of tampering. But yeah, man, it's super dope. It's super dope to see that, man. And I think what we wanted to see was Caleb Williams in the pocket, a poised Caleb Williams, not the sidearm throws, not the 70-yard bombs. And I had no problem with the 70-yard bomb. Everybody ends their pro day like that. It's not uncommon. You just air it out for the one time, and it was successful. But there were a couple big deep balls that he missed. One notably that I think, you want to see from Caleb Williams, and my biggest note was, can he follow the fundamentals? Can he follow the basics of what an offense is going to demand from you at the NFL level? And that's exactly what I think he was trying to demonstrate today. Louis Riddick had a great take on it. Dan Orlovsky really broke it down as well earlier today at ESPN. And, I couldn't have said it better myself, really understanding that we know how talented he is. We know the sidearm throws are there. We know the 70-yard bombs. We know how athletic he is with his feet, and how he can manipulate the game offensively. And I think what you really want to see, though, is, can he do basic things? You know what I mean? Not everything has to be a 70-yard bomb or a sidearm throw. So it's cool to see him go after the basics. It's cool to address the haters and address the questions that a lot of people had on him. I thought it was a great pro day. I really did. James is in the comments, and James says, feel better about Caleb after today. I completely agree. How likely is it that Poles actually takes Caleb at number 1 and doesn't try to slick and trade down? I think that he's taking Caleb. Just curious on your thoughts. I think at this point in time, with everything the Chicago Bears have put Bears fans everywhere from 40 years on to the last 20 years, everything you've put us through with Justin Fields, Jay Cutler, Mitch Trubisky, and so on and so forth, I think this is the most sure thing. If Ryan Poles were to trade down when there is a talent that is thought of to be the highest quarterback rated coming out of college since Andrew Luck and Trevor Lawrence, if you were to trade down and take a shot on a guy like Jaden Daniels, it's very questionable. I don't think it's in the realm of impossibility. I think it's definitely possible. But as of today, I would say Caleb Williams is a lock for the number 1 overall pick. I don't think it's a question, just based off of the talent alone and the ceiling. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a huge fan of Jaden Daniels. I have been for a couple years. They've been cooking up some great wide receivers at LSU, and even guys like Joe Burrow at the quarterback position. So I think they're in a good spot. But Caleb, to me, with the ceiling, is much higher than Jaden's. And I think that's really what you have to base it off of, especially, what we are looking forward to see today. I didn't really care about the pro day. Pro days are kind of just what they are. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are hating right now on Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's not participating in the combine or the pro day. Like, listen, when you are a potential top 10 wide receiver of all time caliber talent, when you are the highest wide receiver prospect we have seen since Calvin Johnson, you know what I mean? Like, you're looking at it for what it is right now and saying, I'm mad at Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, so let me ask you this. What would Marvin Harrison Jr. do at the pro day that you didn't already know? And same with Caleb Williams. I really knew everything. I knew Caleb Williams could throw 70-yard bombs. I knew Caleb Williams had great footwork. I knew Caleb Williams was able to throw the short ball, the deep ball, the medium-sized ball, mid-range shit. I knew he could do all these things. We have seen the tape. We've seen him win a Heisman. We've seen him do all these things. So for people saying that Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't do the combine, so Malik Neighbors should go in front of him, or Rome Odunze, you're crazy. You're out of your box. Like, at the end of the day, here's what it comes down to. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is running a curl route at the pro day and tears his ACL, that fucks his draft stock. So why even put yourself in that position when you have 3 years of tape at Ohio State, the Ohio State University, in order to check that out? So I have no problem with him missing the pro day. And I'm sure a lot of people would have problems with him missing the pro day if this was Caleb Williams. You know what I mean? But I give Caleb his flowers for participating in this. I did not care whatsoever about his actual performance. Even if he didn't do well, I wouldn't have said anything. Even if he, did amazingly, I wouldn't have said anything. It was kind of just in the middle. It wasn't bad. It wasn't, wowing. You know what I mean? It was just there. So I see that, and I say the biggest takeaway I'm going to take from this is what we hear from the Bears organization over the next couple of days after their meetings with Caleb Williams, how they feel about him as the man, as the person, as the teammate. How are they going to evaluate him in this locker room that we already know feels some type of way, feels jaded, that Justin Fields is gone. So, is he going to be able to come in there humbly, understanding that, hey, this is my city, this is my town, but I understand where you guys are coming from. You know what I mean? Are you going to be able to get a guy like that? So I'm really excited. I'm really excited nonetheless to really see what he's going to be able to do. Listen, I'm again, and I'm wearing my Fields jersey right now, but I want to express this. If you're a Bears fan, if you're a die-hard, bleeding blue and orange Chicago Bears fan, bear down till you drop, baby. If that's how you're rocking, then you got to support this kid. You gotta support this kid. You gotta say, okay, listen, here's what it is. Justin's gone. I heard last night about the petition. Oh, they should commemorate him and put a patch on the Bears jerseys like they did with Dick Butkus. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get for what? For like, I love Fields. I was one of the biggest Fields supporters. I was supporting the guy when no one else did. Like, let's be completely real about the situation, though. You played 3 seasons. You never even threw for 3,000 yards. You know, you never beat Green Bay. You never made the playoffs. You never won the division. I love Justin Fields. Great teammate, great person, amazing talent, and amazing athlete. But what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Like, we're going to commemorate him with a patch on our jersey like he's passed away, like he's DeMar Hamlin in a do or die situation, like he's Dick Butkus. Like, come on, bro. Like, nah, bro. That was crazy. That's blasphemy. It is the Caleb Williams era in Chicago, and we have to treat it as such. We have to. If you don't, that's okay. You know what I mean? You can go be a Steelers fan. But as of right now, this is Caleb Williams' team. And you have to treat it as such. And I appreciate everybody who smacked that follow button, everybody who's liked the stream. It definitely does help us out a lot. Liking the stream, however many times you want, definitely brings more people in, more questions to answer, more conversations to start. And then hitting that follow button definitely helps us out a lot and growing the community. So if you're new here, I appreciate you guys for being here. If you've been here for a while, appreciate you guys for always tuning in on your busy day. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for Caleb Williams. I saw, like we said, I thought it would have been really cool if instead of Brendan Rice, if Keenan Allen would have got on the cleats and said, "Hey, Caleb, throw me a couple dimes." That would have been sick. But I know that's not realistic. I know that could potentially even be tampering. And Keenan definitely wouldn't do it either. But and here's the thing: a couple people are in my comments right now saying you will see and you'll notice that Justin Fields is better than Caleb Williams. Here's the thing: if that's the case, then that is a conversation we will have when we get there. You know what I mean? Like, we will be real. I'm going to sit there and be honest with you. I fully expect if Caleb Williams is a bust for Bears fans to be at Soldier Field and start chanting, "We want Fields," to stick it to Ryan Poles. I know that's unfair to Caleb, but that's what would need to happen. But listen, you're thinking way ahead. You're at this point to where it's like, you already think the guy's shit. Like, right now, man, we're in a position to where we might have one of the best prospects in football in the last 10 plus years. So let's ride it. Let's have fun. Let's have real conversation. Let's break it down. Let's see what he can be. Let's see the kind of person he is. Let's evaluate that ourselves. Got a lot of people yapping in my ear right now. A lot of people talking, "Oh, he's this, he's that, he paints his fingernails." Let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you something from a guy who's actually from Chicago. I'm not from California. I didn't move here. I'm not from all these different suburbs. I'm from the city of Chicago. Here's what it is at the end of the day. If this motherfucker comes in here and he starts painting his fingernails and they say F Green Bay on him and he starts winning football games, I promise you he starts a trend in the city of Chicago. I promise you Bears fans start painting their fucking fingernails before games, and Caleb Williams will be the hottest thing since pants with pockets. I'll tell you that, because Bears fans haven't seen a quarterback like this since ever. You want, Sid Luckman, Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon had one working eye and finished a 50 before every game, finished a 40 before every game. Like, come on, bro. Like, Caleb Williams is in a potential spot right now to be the greatest Chicago Bears quarterback of all time. And that's not because of his talent. That's not because of what I've seen from him. That's because of the position that he is in to have success. Period. Somebody said Jay Cutler was our best quarterback thus far. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at that. that's fair. You know what I mean? Josh McCown is just for throwing 5 touchdowns against Green Bay is always in my conversation and all. That one game alone did it for me, man. 12 years old, I saw that game. And listen, here's my thing. Who said this? Florida, coolest Florida said this. I'm gonna eat my words, brother. Listen, hello, brother. No, I'm playing. Listen to me, man. I am not a Caleb Williams fanboy. You know what I mean? I couldn't name 2 wide. I couldn't name outside of Jordan Addison and Brendan Rice, and I only know Rice because he's Jerry Rice's son. Out of those 2, I couldn't name 2 other players who played at USC. I don't know much of Caleb Williams, but I know one thing and one thing for sure. Hello, brother. At the end of the day, you have to break it down for what you see. I'm not listening to all these podcasts. I'm not listening to guys who wear t-shirts and call themselves reporters. I'm not listening to anybody on Twitter. I'm not listening to any of that shit. Because at the end of the day, that's your perspective that you got from someone else, that you got from someone on Twitter. Like, no one really knows Caleb Williams, the man, the person, other than the people in his circle, other than his teammates, his friends, his family. You know what I mean? So, like, who am I to sit here today and say, yeah, guy's going to be a prima donna. Guy's going to be this. Guy's going to be that. Like, at the end of the day, like, let us evaluate that ourselves. If he comes in here acting like an ass, okay. If this guy comes in here and starts throwing 15 plus interceptions a year, okay. And yeah, I know a lot of people are upset I have a Fields jersey on right now, but I tell you what, it's still love. You know what I mean? It's still love for Fields. I still love Caleb. You know what I mean? I still love what we've seen from Caleb thus far. Like, and do I wish Fields was still here? A part of me, sure. I would have loved to experiment with Marvin Harrison Jr., Justin Fields, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift, Shane Waldron, and a top 5 defense. Sure. But guess what? If my aunt was my uncle, she'd be my uncle. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's not what it's not, and it is what it is. He's gone. He is gone. Do I love Jay Cutler? You know, I think as I've gotten older, to answer some of the questions in the comments, I think I understand Jay more. Like, now that I'm not a fan. No, let me rephrase that. Not that I'm not a fan. Now that I'm not just a fan, I'm looking at it from different angles, looking at it from different perspectives. You know, I think Jay had a lack of giving a fuck, for better words. But I also look at Jay's situation and I'm like, not great offensive lines, a defensive head coach, 6 offensive coordinators in 8 years. If I was Jay, I probably wouldn't give a fuck by then either. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real here. Like, at some point, you're like, damn. And that was starting to happen with Justin Fields. This would have really been Justin Fields' 3rd offensive coordinator. 4th, really. Matt Nagy, Bill Lazor, because Bill Lazor took over towards the end of Fields' 1st season. Then you have Luke Getsy and now Shane Waldron. That would have been his 3rd to 4th offensive coordinator. In 3 seasons? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you had to take Caleb. You have to take Caleb because it's like, Justin's going to lose his mind. You know what I mean? And now he has Arthur Smith. So, I mean, bless. Prayers to him. But yeah, you know, today was a good day. Today was a good day. I know we saw a lot. I know it didn't feel like a lot, but we saw a lot. We saw Caleb, you know, he didn't flash us. He didn't wow us with sidearm throws and 70-yard bombs time after time again. He was in the pocket. He looked poised. He looked presentable, and he looked like a franchise quarterback. That's what he looked like. And that's what you wanted to see. You know what I mean? That's what a lot of people were questioning is, can he be a pocket quarterback? Can he be a guy who gets the ball out quickly? You know what I mean? He was in rhythm. He was in stride. I think Caleb Williams is in a great position right now. He had a couple misses. He had a couple deep balls that he missed. I will say that. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. It really is. I know some guys are fighting in the comments right now. And then, you know, and then my girl's in here right now talking about, you know, he's only a pocket quarterback. I hear you, sis. I hear you. But I will say this. Kid's mobile is a motherfucker too. kid is a monster. You're looking at 960 rushing yards, 27 rushing TDs in 3 seasons between USC and I forgot his original school that he was at before USC with Cliff Kingsbury. Dude is definitely not going to run like Justin, but he's definitely a mobile quarterback. I could see him having the mobility of, and this is not a comparison. This is just from a mobile standpoint. I think he's mobile in the same regard of Patrick Mahomes. He's mobile in the same regard of Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? He's a big kid who has a little bit of wheels. He feels like a Mahomes. Yeah, from a running perspective, yes. I'm not going to sit up here and say from a passing perspective he's going to be dotting people up. Oklahoma was it Oklahoma? Did he go to Oklahoma? I really don't feel like he went to Oklahoma. Swear to God, he went to Oklahoma. See, this is why everybody says I'm a Caleb Williams fanboy. I don't even know where the fuck this guy went to college before USC. College stats. Let's check it out. Did he go to Oklahoma? Everyone's saying yes. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. Who was he behind? What year was that? 2021? So he was behind. That's not Jalen, is it? That couldn't have been Jalen Hurts. Was he behind Jalen Hurts in 2021? Spencer Rattler. Wow. It was Spencer Rattler. Crazy. Imagine you started Spencer Rattler over Caleb Williams. Life is crazy. Life is a simulation. But Spencer was that guy. Spencer was that guy coming out of high school. I can't lie. If you remember the Netflix series, Spencer was that dude. I don't know what the fuck happened to Spencer Rattler. It's unfortunate that it went the way it did. But yeah, man, today was a great day, and I think we're going to continue to hear Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus's opinions on him. I saw a tough Ryan Poles today. Looked dapper, looked fresh. He had the shades on. He looked great. Mean mugging. Wasn't amused by the 70-yard bomb. And then I got Matt Eberflus geeking in the corner like a little schoolgirl. It was funny to see. Flus is hilarious, bro. Excuse me. But yeah, man, it was fun. It was fun. It was cool to break it down. It was cool to have a real conversation about Caleb Williams today. Keenan Allen being there speaks so many volumes to, where we're at right now as it pertains to Keenan Allen and his ability to help change this franchise. You know what I mean? Like Keenan Allen's going to have such a huge role. And mind you, this guy's from North Carolina. Like he did not have to be there, and he just decided to show up. Obviously, Caleb expressed that they've had a history before, him and Keenan Allen. They've had conversations before, and it's going to be really cool to see, how they continue to connect. And maybe they're going to, let's be real. Like if Keenan Allen and Caleb Williams already have this connection, does that make Keenan Allen wide receiver 1 over DJ Moore when it pertains to who Caleb Williams is going to target the most? That's what I'm curious about. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be on opposite sides of each other, so they're not going to be in the way whatsoever. They're both going to eat. Don't get it twisted. But who's going to get targeted the most? I think that's an interesting conversation because that these two already have that relationship with each other. How that affects guys like DJ Moore in a rookie season of all of that. In a rookie season, you just got to do what you got to do to get by. So it's going to be interesting, but I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you guys are new here, make sure you smack that follow button. Welcome to the community. If you've already done that, make sure you tap that like button a few times because it gets us going. It gets us getting through, brings more people into the live, brings more conversations. We're going to stay live on TikTok. So if you haven't already, hop on the TikTok at theshy.kid. We're making Bears content every single day. We just cracked 17,000 followers. So that's an absolute blessing. I appreciate every single one of you guys. We're going to keep talking Bears on theshy.kid on TikTok. So make sure you guys stay in tune for that. Until then, I'll check you guys out later on YouTube, Facebook, and all social media platforms. This is theshy.kid. Until then, peace.